Maritime Museum. I'm going in there now. It's about 15 Macau patakas apparently for entry fee, but when I went in, it was free. So I'll take that. And it was a lovely experience inside. Watch my video. Thank you. This model built in 1945. Some tools of various kinds of trades in this area. Here's a boat building yard. They call it junk building yard in the south of China. They call it Chinese junks, which basically mean boats. And they had very unique designs. In fact, the Chinese are credited with having built and designed ships using bulkheads. And these bulkheads would basically prevent water from entering the ship, and if it did enter in one part of the ship, the entire ship would not be flooded. So these kinds of ships were ideal for long distance voyages. I love this. Ship's wheel of the Locha Macau. This, I believe, was the Locha Macau, which is a junk. Don't let the word fool you. Junk doesn't mean trash. Junk means a ship. And the Chinese vessels used to be called that. I'm not sure exactly if my pronunciation is correct. So this vessel was built in 1937 in Germany, and it sailed during even the Second World War. And the Portuguese Navy bought it in 1962, apparently, probably as a training vessel. Here are different kinds of vessels. Ships, boats, as you may call them, all sailing vessels. If you have any maritime interest, this show would be interesting to you. If you want to pause the video anytime to take a closer look, feel free to do so. And further up the steps, oh, I love this painting. Classic. Wow, what a magnificent vessel. If you like ship models, as I do, then you'd love this. Again, various types of boats in use, including papyrus boats from Africa and dugouts from Europe, the rowing catamaran from India. This looks like a mansion, a floating mansion. It's a 5-story junk. The big man himself. But he sailed between 1405 and 1433. Admiral Zheng He, along with his armada, he went all over Southeast and South Asia. These were his ports of call. He went everywhere. Great navigator, Zheng He. Almost everyone knows about Admiral Zheng. Upon completion of their long voyages, Zheng He led his crew to the temple of the goddess Tin Fai in Fujian to express gratitude for the safety. And that's the ceremony right there. Must have been quite a time to be alive. And the Chinese navigators ruled the seas in all of South and Southeast Asia and all the way to West Asia and perhaps beyond. And then the Portuguese came. And they so-called discovered the Far East. They didn't discover it, really. That's Vasco da Gama, who found the trade route to India before Columbus. Columbus was trying and he got lost. He found America. Vasco da Gama found India, which they were all looking for. So he's credited with quote-unquote finding in India. Well, India was always there. He didn't find it. He just found a trade route. No one discovered the Far East like how the history books tell you. The Far East was always here for thousands of years. It wasn't discovered by the Europeans. They happened to chance upon it because they wanted to trade and later conquer and colonize. And the rest, as you know, is history. Look at these beautiful models. The details, and you've got cannons on the side of the vessel. Here's some details about it. And these were known as black ships, and they used to ply between the Portuguese colony of Goa, which is now India, state in India, and then from there to Macau in Japan. Interesting looking fella. It's a Japanese musketeer, apparently. From way back in 1543. The arrival of the Portuguese in 1543 can be seen as bringing about considerable change in Japan. So I guess, going to Japan from Portugal, you had to make a port of call here in Macau. And then the Europeans came with all their strange costumes and definitely overdressed for this kind of weather. I mean, except in winter, I suppose. But, it's largely summer here in Southeast Asia. And you should be suffering in those kind of clothes. Look at this beautiful vessel. Okay, so this is a part of Zhang He's armada. I guess this was his main ship or something. Beautiful. Look how the design is so different from Western. And then there's a third flight of stairs going up further, and one more level of museum. More models of the Chinese junk. The traditional lighthouse. Sextants and other instruments of navigation, celestial navigation. More instruments, compasses, telescopes, sextants. These are as the ferries and vessels became modernized. As they are now. Far East jet foils. Shipping container lines. This is all modern. The last part, and for me never the least, seaplanes. Look, there is a history of seaplanes, and this is Macau. And seaplanes used to visit here. The Maritime Aviation Center of Macau was set up in a hangar in 1927, and later in 1941 a new hangar was built over the site of the present ferry terminal and it was all destroyed by an air raid by American forces in January 1945, and that was when they retook everything from the Japanese. So I will leave you here with this. Sorry about the flickering light. Okay, so with this last visuals from the Museum of Maritime History, and I ended with seaplanes. So sure, so all kinds of vessels, including flying boats. And I'm going to exit the museum now. So I'll see you all later in another episode. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any interest in maritime, you would probably like this. It helps a great deal if you press a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you've been enjoying the content I've been putting on this channel. See you soon on another episode. And on behalf of the fish, ciao for now.